Attorney Crump's team did not reach out to us. You're not going to break me to where I can't advocate for my child. Yes. It's not happening. And by the grace of God, we will get answers and we will get justice. You will.
Roughly 50 days after Nolan Wells' death, and one day after what would have been his 19th birthday, his parents spoke publicly about the questions they believed remained unanswered. Christine and Elmore Wells returned to the issue that continued to define their search for clarity: what happened to Nolan. Nolan disappeared on July 4.
Initially, there was no sleep.
Yeah.
It was when he went missing, that July the 4th, I think we maybe got, maybe an hour of sleep, and then it was back to doing things. And then kind of, after everything unfolded on the 6th, it was just one of those times where we couldn't believe what we were going through.
Yeah.
We couldn't believe that, our son wasn't physically here anymore.
Yeah.
And so just those racing thoughts and, as parents, we tend to try to do the shoulda, coulda, woulda,
yeah.
and that's the one thing, for sure. Our family, our community, those who have been supporting us, they're like, no, don't do that. Like, just know, you did everything you could.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, sometimes there are things, that happen in life. And even though we don't want them to happen, we don't have control over that. Only God does. So
his parents recalled sleeping for perhaps an hour that night as they continued trying to locate him and understand what was happening. By July 6, they had learned that a body had been recovered and that their son was no longer physically with them. The interview does not independently establish the circumstances or cause of Nolan's death. It does, however, document why his parents remained dissatisfied with the information they had received. Elmore said statements had been made prematurely, before what he considered a proper investigation. He also referred to information given to the family that appeared inconsistent with Nolan's character. The interview does not identify those statements in sufficient detail to assess them independently, and the parents' concerns do not prove wrongdoing. Their position was more limited. The information available to them had not resolved their questions. The loss immediately affected every part of the family. Elmore said he returned to Nolan's old text messages and videos, reliving memories and sometimes breaking down in private.
Well, first of all, I also thank you for my wife, because everything that you mentioned, I've been there. I was at that point, but she kept me grounded. And like I said, I owe so much to her for just keeping me at bay. But every day is a challenge. For me, knowing that, my son is not here, I won't be able to see him anymore.
Yeah.
I go through old text messages, old videos, just memories. The last day that I spoke to him, and it just, I break.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do that in my own personal space.
Yeah.
Because I know I have to be that person to be strong for her and my family. So I'm working kind of like a two-sided sword in a sense. And I'm trying my best to keep it as level as possible. But it's hard,
I can imagine.
At the same time, he felt responsible for remaining strong for his wife and their surviving children. He credited Christine with keeping him grounded when anger and grief threatened to overwhelm him. Christine, in turn, acknowledged that her husband was grieving as deeply as she was, even when public attention focused primarily on her.
I can imagine.
that we have each other.
Yeah, we have each other.
And that's the, I would say that's probably what's grounded us in a sense. Because I know early on when there was so much anger and emotions were high, I literally was like, look, if you allow that anger to consume you.
Yeah.
And if you act out irrationally, even for a moment, because we're hurting so bad, I was like, I can't do this by myself.
Yeah.
Like, I can't lay our child to rest, still wear the hats we have to wear as adults and parents.
Yeah.
And then I can't be by myself. So I want to say thank you.
It's beautiful.
for hearing me.
Wow.
Because I know how hard it's been for you. I know people have kind of focused in on me, but I always say he's grieving just as much as I am. That was just as much his child as it was mine.
Let me ask you.
She recalled telling him that she could not face laying their child to rest, caring for the family, and managing their responsibilities alone. Their ability to support each other became central to how they endured the weeks that followed. Christine and Elmore had met years earlier in a cell phone store where she was working.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was working at a cell phone store. And I was doing our weekly special for the cell phones.
Yes.
And so it was just me and my manager up front. So initially when he came in, she's like, hey, how you doing? What can I help you with? And so at some point it was, hey, Christine, can you come? And I'm like, no, I am busy.
Right.
I am drawing out our board. And she's just like, girl, get over here. And so we started talking, and I was telling him just a little bit, about myself and kind of where I was mentally at that time. I've gone through a lot in my life. A lot more than people my age probably have gone through.
Yeah.
And so in that time, I was in the phase of rebuilding.
Okay.
And really just putting that trust back in God and working on that relationship. And so, I told him, I was like, hey, not looking for anything. Like, I need to work on me.
That's beautiful.
And, we just became friends, but the friendship, just in a short period of time, that connection was undeniable, but, we allowed it to grow. And we fostered it and we nurtured that. And of course, just like
since y'all met in the phone store, you got that code early. You was able to get in that back room pretty quick. You had to make sure who was in the top 5 faves. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, I'm able to get into this storage unit real quick. Mm-hmm. Now, what's your version of the story?
What is
sorry, it's similar, but when I walked into the store, she did not want to help me.
She did not.
No, she was like she said, she was off and on word doing whatever she was doing. But she did not want to help me. And then but I always mess with her, and say like, well, if you didn't help me that day, we wouldn't be here today. And she was like, yeah, you're right. So but she didn't want to help me at all, man.
I was busy.
You were a reluctant servant.
I was.
God was setting you up.
I did not. And it's so funny, as I always tell him, he still has the card that has my personal. I never gave my personal cell number out.
I still got that card.
Yeah, still has that card. And to this day, I'm like,
The people want to know, did you have an iPhone or an Android?
Then she was occupied with a promotional display and initially had little interest in assisting him. But her manager called her over. They began talking, became friends, and eventually formed a relationship. Elmore kept the card containing Christine's personal number, something she said she ordinarily did not give to customers. Together, they raised 6 children. Nolan was the 4th. Christine was born in the Philippines, where her mother's family was from, while her father's family was from Mississippi. Elmore described growing up around football and said 3 of his uncles had played in the National Football League. He did not reach the league himself, but he tried to pass the knowledge he had acquired to his children, so they would have guidance he felt he had lacked. The couple said they taught their children to respect others and evaluate people through character rather than appearance alone. Elmore believed his comments about character had sometimes been misunderstood publicly. His intended lesson, he explained, was that his children should keep trustworthy people close, observe the conduct of those around them, and understand that not everyone who entered their lives would necessarily act in their best interests. That lesson became especially important as Nolan grew older. According to his father, Nolan had a presence that naturally drew people toward him. Elmore therefore emphasized discernment, particularly when Nolan reached middle school.
And I really hammered that down in him when he got to middle school. You know, watch the people around you.
Wow.
You can't trust everyone.
Wow.
Watch. You got 2
Discernment.
ears first, 1 mouth, 2 eyes. Use these more than you use this. To be humble. He was humble. Well, he is a humble person.
Yeah.
I was in high school, I was drilled every day by my high school coach by character. Didn't really understand it then. But as I got older and got into college, I appreciate that coach for drilling that in me by character. I drilled it into my children, character.
Yeah.
Don't look at a man for their skin color or a person for their skin color. Judge them by their character. It don't matter what color they are. If they have good character, keep them people close. If their character is not the same as yours or below yours or just bad, don't be around those type of people. So when I said that I didn't teach my son about color, I didn't mean I didn't teach him about black and white. We have those conversations.
Yeah, because people have blown that up.
I grew up, I didn't have a lot. I didn't have a whole bunch, so I had to really kind of, live with people, single parent home. But I'm talking to judge people by their character, not by skin color, because people are fickle by anything, and you see all the time families separate because this family member did this. Now everybody in the family is mad. And then you have this outsider who acts more like a family member than your own brother. So I always taught them to judge people by their character. So when people say, I'm telling my son not to judge, I see color is not that. I'm telling my son to judge you by character and keep a small circle. Just be a good person because when people first see you, they're going to judge, they're going to see appearance.
Yes.
But the first thing come out your mouth and the way you act, your character is what they're going to remember about you.
Yep.
So he was on his way to do some great things, man. He really put in the work, and it's going to be hard because his first game.
Christine described her son as gentle, kind, and able to make others comfortable without judging them. Those descriptions remain the personal recollections of his parents, but they show how Nolan was understood inside his family.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Mom, tell us about your son.
The sweetest kid.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss his big, beautiful smile.
No, that's great.
He's just, and I've always said it, he just had this ease about him.
Yeah.
He was able to just make people feel so comfortable. They didn't have to worry about him casting judgment on them. He was just a great kid.
That's beautiful.
He was a great kid. And He really did. Like, when I say he wanted the best for everybody, like, even us as his parents, even though we were much older, just your biggest cheerleader.
No, it's great.
Nolan is the person that you would want to meet every lifetime.
Wow.
You would want in your corner for every part of your life.
Yeah.
And that's if you were genuinely his friend and if you genuinely loved him. Because this is the thing. Nolan was going to always be kind. Like, he just had a very gentle spirit about him.
No, that's great.
And I always say, he really was the best parts of me.
Wow. Wow.
And now we don't have that physically here.
Yes.
Elmore remembered recognizing that quality when Nolan was still a small child.
Let me say, when we first started dating, we had an argument or whatever, and we were sitting in the closet, like had the lights off, and we was trying to talk through our problems, whatever.
You said you were sitting in the closet?
Yeah, we were sitting in the closet.
Okay.
Just talking, just trying to be in a dark, quiet place so we can talk.
Calm environment.
And Nolan, he was running around in the room, and then he ran across the closet door, and then he stuck his head back inside the closet and looked at us. And I said, "What you doing, boy?" So he just sat there and smiled for a minute. Then he steps into the whole door, and I've said this before, but remember the dance Stanky Leg?
Absolutely.
This child did Stanky Leg. He was, and for us, that's the first time that we say he created it.
Oh yeah.
Where he in his little diaper, did his little dance or whatever, and I forgot what we was arguing about, but it all went out the way.
Yeah.
And she opened her arms and he ran to us, and at that moment I knew that he was going to be the type of person that when he walks into a room, his aura was going to be so strong that people would naturally gravitate to him. And that was a lot of the conversations that I would have with him as he got older, because of that quality, the people that come, that attract to you, you really have to study them, because everybody that comes to you is not going to be for you.
Yeah.
And during a disagreement between his parents, Nolan appeared in the doorway and began performing a playful dance. His parents laughed, and the argument lost its force. Elmore later viewed the moment as an early sign of Nolan's ability to change the mood around him. Nolan's relationship with his siblings formed another major part of his life. Christine and Elmore said they had intentionally limited public discussion of the 5 surviving children because they wanted to protect them from
do
scrutiny.
what's best for them.
Yeah. You all have how many children?
So we have 6 children.
6. The youngest is how old?
15.
15. So walk me through, because so much of the focus has been on the 2 of you, and people are not really saying that this is not just a son, it's also a brother.
Absolutely.
And so walk us through how the siblings are dealing with this, not just in the grief, but because they are of age, contending with social media. Are y'all having to pull them back?
So I'm so glad you asked this, because in passing, like, of course, we kind of see little comments, and a lot of people are like, well, what about the siblings? You guys don't ever, but this is the thing, and that's done, intentionally.
Yeah.
Our goal is to always protect them, even though 3 of them are adults.
Yeah.
We still want to provide that protection.
That's great.
They try to stay away from social media.
Yeah.
One of our kiddos is in therapy, the oldest.
Yeah.
Is in therapy, and kind of just dealing with those emotions, because again, they lost a brother. That wasn't just their brother. That was their friend. That was the person, that kept some of their secrets,
How's it been for the youngest going back to school? So it's one thing to be able to
So for them, one question we ask, but we don't ask like every day is, how are you feeling?
Yeah.
I like to ask, is there something we can do?
Yeah.
Is there some place we can take you? Is there something you need us to get for you?
Yeah.
Because sometimes simply just asking, are you okay? Or how are you feeling? Because children at that age, they can't always fully express themselves verbally on what they're feeling.
Yeah.
So, asking what can we do for you sometimes is a little bit better because that gives them an outlet. But I'm gonna let Mo answer.
3 were adults, but their parents still felt responsible for shielding them. One of the older siblings had entered therapy, while the younger children were coping in their own ways. The youngest, who was 15, returned to school and football.
As far as the youngest, he's been busy. So school has started.
Yeah.
They're practicing early in the morning, so that keeps them busy. So school and football is keeping them busy, and he's more focused now because over the summer, him and Nolan, their bond got stronger because they both play the same position, receiver.
Yeah.
So Nolan was teaching him stuff, and he was understanding the things that he was teaching them to get better. So his focus has gotten laser sharp. He really wants to do good, not just for himself, but to make his brother proud. And he's constantly telling his mom that I'm gonna do it for you and you guys and Nolan. So he's really focused on having. I have no doubt in my mind he's gonna be great.
No, absolutely.
Like I said, it's this fire inside of him that burns, that he wants to be the best. He wants to be better than his brother, but that's kind of like iron sharpens iron.
No.
He played receiver, the same position as Nolan, and the brothers had become especially close during the summer. Elmore said Nolan had been teaching him techniques intended to improve his performance. School and early football practices helped keep the younger boy occupied, while his father observed that his focus had become noticeably sharper. Public attention created another source of pressure.
Yeah.
To have, one, the loss of a child, 2, to be thrust into cameras on a daily basis. People got an attitude, if you eat ice cream, how dare you eat ice cream?
How dare I go to the store?
Yeah.
How dare I smile?
Right.
Yeah. And I wanted to jump around for just a moment and talk about how this is impacting you professionally outside of just being a parent. Now everybody is on Yelp giving nurse reviews. I don't even know where this has come from.
It's
when you first saw it, what was going through your mind?
It's funny because, and this is what I mean by discernment.
Yes.
I have always been someone who was just very in tune, not just with myself, but people, situations. And that night before it hit the internet, we were in bed. And I was like, they're going to come for my career.
You said that.
I told them, I was like, they're going to come for my career. I don't know if it is going to be now, in a few weeks, in a few months. I said, but I am telling you, they are going to come for my career. And when I say they, I'm not talking about any specific group of people, just people who don't like the fact that we are just wanting answers.
Yes.
We're just wanting the truth.
Can you imagine to be insulted that you want answers and closure about your son?
I say it all the time. All we did was ask a question.
Yes.
We asked a question that any good, loving, caring parent or parents would ask if something like this happened. I would hope, and I have said this every interview, press conference, I would hope that, God forbid, if you were in this situation, that you would ask the same question. You would want to know, because when you are left with your child is gone.
Yes.
We can't answer what happened, when did it happen. We can't answer any of these questions. It's hard to cycle through the stages of grief, and you get stuck.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's all we did was ask a question. And I have, really just tried to mentally, but you can't mentally prepare yourself for any of this, because at the end of the day, and I've said it before, we didn't ask for this.
Christine discussed the nurse reviews that had appeared online as public criticism intensified. She recalled telling Elmore before the attacks appeared online that people might target her career because the family was demanding answers. She did not identify a particular group as responsible, describing the concern more generally as a reaction from people who opposed or resented their questions. The interview also addressed AI-generated material that appeared to portray Christine or her family as purchasing sports cars. Christine rejected that depiction and described it as an effort to present the family negatively. The discussion further addressed online criticism of ordinary behavior, including comments about whether grieving parents should eat ice cream, visit a store, or smile publicly. Some of that hostility reportedly extended to people outside the immediate family. Christine said even her nail technician had been targeted. The parents regarded these attacks as distractions from the central issue. They had asked what happened to their son, and they believed that any caring parent placed in similar circumstances would ask the same question. The professional consequences were also significant. Christine and Elmore said they had not returned to work since early July.
Let me say this. We have not begged, because that's another thing. We have not begged anyone to donate to the GoFundMe. What we have said is that if you can, great. Thank you. We appreciate it, because what people don't understand is situations like this, there's so much that comes with it. Elmore and I have not been to work since early July.
Yeah.
That first week, we've not been to work. And I'm going to be honest with you, the profession that I have sometimes is emotionally heavy.
Yeah.
So now I have to kind of sit within myself and be like, okay, are we really ready for this? Are we ready to go back to that life? But it's been that hurt. Seeing it.
I can't imagine. Mo, I'm scrolling through Instagram the other week, and they even created AIs of you buying sports cars.
Oh my, we just saw that. I was like, what? That doesn't even look. No, I'm happy with my little car. Like, I'm not trying to.
But the intentionality of wickedness.
Absolutely. It's
to
disgusting.
give a bad portrayal is something I've never seen.
No.
At this level and at this height. And the end game, I think, is just intimidation.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times when you hear cyberbullying, I'm thinking it's middle schoolers. So cyberbullying is in high school, but not for adults who are grieving.
And I've never, cases and we were just talking about this, cases similar to ours, I've never seen this. I've never seen that. And it's, the cyberbullying component of it.
Yeah.
And Christine had trained as a nurse practitioner and previously worked as a hospital floor nurse. She described her profession as emotionally demanding and questioned whether she was ready to resume supporting patients while still carrying her own grief. The family sought involvement from the United States Department of Justice.
Give us a crash course, either one of you, on why you want the DOJ to get involved.
Well, from the beginning, just premature statements before an investigation was made.
Yeah.
That, along with stuff that was told to us, which was out of character, but the premature statements and then just the way that people were moving, it didn't seem trustworthy. And my wife that day, she pulled into the side and she said a prayer that whoever needs to come into our life to help us navigate this, to bring them forth. And he brought us Ben Crump and his team.
And let me say this, because I've seen this too. His team never reached out to us.
Attorney Crump's
team. Where's the camera? Attorney Crump's team did not reach out to us.
Yes.
What it was is when we were at Lake Mars and he and I sat there and I said that prayer, and then we went to the coroner's office and the whole thing, and finally we made it back home. Things were already set in motion. My wonderful friend group, and they were like Johnny on the spot.
That's great.
That next morning, it was, hey, look, I have this, this, and this. Boom, boom, boom. I'm not going to say her name because I don't need her getting bullied either, because apparently my nail tech got bullied.
Wow.
Yeah, nail tech.
Their request does not establish misconduct by local authorities, nor does it confirm that a federal investigation began. It reflects the parents' stated belief that outside scrutiny might be necessary because of the premature statements and conduct they found difficult to trust. Attorney Ben Crump and his team became involved in representing the family. Christine and Elmore strongly disputed suggestions that Crump's office had initiated contact with them. According to Christine, members of her friend group began identifying people who might help after the family learned that a body had been recovered. Christine said the process was already in motion by the time she and Elmore returned home. Her clarification was unequivocal. Attorney Crump's team did not reach out to us. That distinction mattered to the parents because they believed public commentary had misrepresented both their decision to seek representation and the origin of their relationship with Crump's team. The interview does not detail what formal investigative or legal measures had been taken by the attorneys at that point. Faith remained central to the way Christine and Elmore processed the loss.
I would say grace. Giving myself grace.
Wow. Well deserved.
But also too, it kind of takes me back to when before my mom passed away, and she would tell me, Christine, you're working too hard. Before she passed, I was in nurse practitioner school. I was still working full time at the hospital as a floor nurse. Our kids were in sports.
Yeah.
So, their extracurricular activities, my siblings and I taking care of our mother, still having to be a wife.
Yeah. How many siblings you have?
So I have 3 siblings. I have an older brother, and then the other 2 are younger than me.
Are they all in Mississippi?
Yes, they're all in Mississippi.
Okay.
And so she would just be like, please take time for yourself. Enjoy life.
Yeah.
Because she was very much young. She was only, I think, 50, 52 when she passed.
Wow.
And so looking at Nolan's life and how full of a life he lived, how much he loved to live his life, and how appreciative of the life that his father and I were able to give to him.
Yes.
The other thing I've learned is that I need to do a better job of enjoying life, enjoying the moments, even in this moment of grief.
Yeah.
Enjoying these blessings, these doors that are being opened, because, you feel a certain guilt. We've been thrusted into the limelight.
And you're doing a great job.
Thank you. And, we've been able to meet people that we would have never imagined.
Yeah. Right.
And so we have to make sure that, we're still seeing
Christine said she had prayed for the right people to enter their lives and help them navigate what was happening. She also spoke about learning to give herself grace and to appreciate life, even during grief. That lesson reflected advice once given by Christine's mother, who died at approximately 52. Before her death, she had urged Christine to stop working so hard and make time to enjoy life. At the time, Christine was attending nurse practitioner school, working full-time as a hospital floor nurse, helping care for her mother, managing her children's activities, and fulfilling her responsibilities as a wife. Nolan's death gave that advice new significance. Christine said she was trying to recognize the support and opportunities that had emerged without pretending those experiences removed the pain. For her, gratitude and grief were not opposites. Both could exist at the same time. Nolan had been preparing for several possible futures.
I really think he was wanting to do something with broadcast and media because he did that in high school. He was part of this group called GTV or something, but it taught him how to, do videos, edit videos, and that's why, he was helping his mom edit when she was doing her stuff online.
I didn't want to do social media.
Stuff,
he made me.
But he was really, I think, was going to be something in media.
Yeah.
After he got done with his playing career.
Yeah.
Like I said before, he from the time he got home in May, whenever that was.
Yeah, May.
He was training. I set him up with trainers to work out. So that whole month of June and July, he was training because his thing was that come December, I'm going to be out of there. I'm going to be somewhere else. You and mom, we're not going to worry about anything.
Yeah, that was his big thing. Always, mom and dad, when I make it, y'all don't have to worry about nothing. He always said that. I'm going to take care of y'all. You don't have to worry about going to work. I'm going to retire you. He even said his auntie, my sister, he's going to retire her too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I had people, CPAs I had set up so we can talk to, agents set up, people that I had, written down the people we was going to meet. So when that time comes, I was going to take care of the business. All I needed him to do was focus on what he needed to do when that's being the best athlete he could possibly be. Like I said, stuff that I didn't have, I was trying to make it easier for them. And he was, I think he would have been the uncle that all the other siblings' kids would have called. I need so-and-so. Okay, well, send me this and that, or send me this and I send it to you. And then the sibling called, why did you get them? Well, they called and asked me for it. He would have been like the uncle, the cool uncle.
Yes.
But yeah, he was.
But that'll be sad not to see.
Yeah.
Because whenever the time came, he wanted to be that family man. And
his two
I attribute
daughters.
that to three. I attribute that to him.
Yeah.
Elmore said his son returned home in May and trained throughout June and part of July. Nolan was determined to advance his athletic career, and his first game was expected to take place on the 31st, although the interview did not specify the month or provide further scheduling details. Football was not Nolan's only interest. Elmore believed his son might eventually have pursued broadcasting or media. Nolan had participated in a high school program that taught video production and editing, and he helped Christine edit material for her online work. His father imagined that media might have become part of Nolan's life after his playing career. Nolan also spoke about using future success to support his family. According to Elmore, his son repeatedly promised that his parents would no longer need to work once he became successful. Nolan even talked about helping his aunt. Elmore had begun identifying accountants, agents, and other professionals who could advise the family if Nolan's career advanced. His intention was to handle the business considerations while Nolan concentrated on becoming the best athlete he could be. Elmore also imagined the adult Nolan might have become, the generous uncle whom younger relatives would call when they needed help, and the family member willing to provide it. Christine believed Nolan eventually wanted a family of his own, an expectation she connected to the marriage and communication he had observed at home. Those plans ended before Nolan reached 19.
What do you think he would have asked you for?
Money.
Money.
He would have wanted his cake.
He wanted his cake.
Because that was the thing. My mom, she said, no matter what, no matter how old you are, you always get a birthday cake.
He would have wanted some Lululemon.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know why that clothing brand, but
he liked the Lulu.
He loved Lululemon. And just being around friends, you know.
Friends and family. Yeah, family first, then go hang out with his friends, which any teenage kid would do.
Yeah.
His parents believed he would have spent his birthday with family before going out with friends. They expected him to ask for money, a cake, and clothing from Lululemon. These were ordinary details, but they reflected the life his parents expected to continue. Football, friends, family celebrations, and adulthood still ahead. Nolan also stayed connected to his family through everyday routines. Christine said the family used Life 360 and that the children sometimes checked their parents' locations. Nolan would call while she was away, initially denying that he had looked at her location before asking her to bring something home. The memory does not establish location evidence connected to Nolan's disappearance. It illustrates the familiar contact his mother now misses.
This is something Nolan did a lot too. He would call, Ma. Yes, baby. What's up? What's going on? What you doing? Nolan, I know you're looking at Life 360 right now. Where am I at? No, I'm not. I'm not. But hey, since you're out, can you bring me
Right.
Like, it's just, gosh, gonna miss that kid. Like, going to miss him. He just was just so naturally funny. And, you know, being able to raise an incredible child.
Wow.
The family set in. Person support often contrasted sharply with the hostility they encountered online. Strangers approached them with prayers and encouragement.
Those conversations.
We saw a guy today. He walked up on us today. Man, we're with you. I think they was from
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
He's like, we're with you. We're in our prayers. And he had a son there. And when I saw his son, you know, he looked around same age as Nolan.
Yeah.
And at the end, when we got ready to go our separate ways, I told him, look, whatever you do, hug him, tell your son you love him, man.
That's beautiful.
It might feel a certain way, but hug him and tell him you love him.
Yeah. We have to show that more in our community, you know, letting the boys know, like, that's how you show love. It's okay to say I love you. It's okay to hug.
Say it loud for the people in the back. Hug me.
Yes.
Love on me.
But no, we appreciate it because too, that helps strengthen us. It helps to make sure we know that no matter what this outside noise is saying, the focus is what happened to Nolan.
That's what we want to know.
Yes.
And we don't care who's offended, who's upset, who's outraged.
Mm-hmm.
We need to know what happened.
Yes.
Elmore recalled meeting a man from Minnesota who was accompanied by a son around Nolan's age. Before they separated, Elmore urged the man to hug his son and tell him he was loved. Christine and Elmore asked primarily for continued prayer, while also acknowledging that a GoFundMe remained open for those who wished to contribute.
Around the country, around the world, who are watching you, and they're sending love, light.
Yes.
What do you need most in this moment from the community?
Most in this moment, I would say just continue the prayers. Like when I say that alone, you know, that's the thing. You have to remember It may not be our time, but it's God's time.
Yeah.
But if we stay faithful in prayer and we stay faithful in hope, knowing that God is going to take care of things, we'll be okay. So prayer. And like we said before, if you can, the GoFundMe is very much still open.
Yes.
That is appreciated. But if not, prayers are just as good.
Yes. No, that's beautiful.
They emphasized that they had not demanded donations. Their larger request was for public attention to remain focused on what happened to Nolan rather than on disputes surrounding the family. Christine said, "You're not going to break me to where I can't advocate for my child. It's not happening." She expressed confidence that the family would eventually receive answers and justice. That confidence represents her belief, not a confirmed investigative or legal outcome. The reference material does not establish criminal responsibility or indicate that the family's questions have been conclusively resolved. Nolan's parents are therefore carrying two responsibilities at once: preserving the memory of the son and brother they knew while continuing to question information they believe has not adequately explained what happened. Until reliable evidence addresses those concerns, Nolan Wells's death remains, from his family's perspective, a tragedy still awaiting an adequate answer.